Hey everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 11, Episode 1. See you next Tuesday? Question mark? I don't know why the question mark is there because there's plenty of see you next Tuesday in this episode. No question about it. Before we begin, I just want to give a shout out to our friends in Texas. I know some of you viewers live in the Houston area. I think some of you are in Austin. I'm just thinking about you so much. The whole rest of the country is with you guys, and our hearts go out to you. Once again, Bethany, I don't work for her, I promise you, but once again, Bethany Frankel's charity foundation is sending trucks to the area with supplies, food, water, everyday supplies, toilet paper, tampons, toothpaste, whatever's needed, PPE, all of it. And 100% of the money you give goes right into the hands of the people that need it. I like that about her foundation. I love her attention to detail. That's the only reason I'm touting her foundation. There are plenty of places that you can donate right now to help relief efforts in Texas. So if that's what you feel inclined to do, please do so. Additionally, I just want to say, if any of you guys feel you want to talk, you need to vent, you can DM me on Instagram and Twitter, and you can email me. My address is jillinformed@gmail.com. I went through my own struggle. I get that more and more obstacles and challenges are being thrown in our faces, and we're expected to just absorb it and keep moving. It's hard. It's hard. I get it. When you're in a situation like that, you can't vent to your spouse or your kids or your neighbors because they're going through it too. So I'm offering that for anybody that feels like they're struggling. The other thing I'm offering is to talk about the crazy, crazy women of New Jersey. Episode 1 does not disappoint, guys. It does not. So let's get right into it. It opens, I always say it opens weirdly, but so many of these are opening in a weird way that now I think this is just the new way we do it. So it's not weird at all, but we open without any intro or fanfare. It just starts and you're in the middle of some kind of drama. And that's exactly what's happening. We are at Margaret's house and there's a conversation happening between Jackie and Teresa. Margaret says, "Okay, I just want you two to work it out." And she walks away and Jackie's like, "Can I just talk and you listen to me for a few minutes?" Teresa, Yeah. Who is this? Who is this soft-spoken, demure woman? Yes. Yeah, of course. Oh, have no fear. It doesn't last long. But she says, yeah. Then we cut to Jackie saying, "I'm not stupid, I'm a lawyer." And Teresa saying, "You know that saying, where there's smoke, there's fire." Cut to Margaret telling Lexi, her assistant, she's doubling down. "I just heard her say, where there's smoke, there's fire." Then we cut back to Jackie screaming, "Just admit it was a lie." Cut to Teresa storming out and Margaret, "What happened?" And Teresa screaming, "She brought up my daughter. Kids are off limits." And then just a series of bleeps as Teresa storms out and gets in her car. Let's just say the bleeps have something to do with the title of this episode. Then the screen goes to black and it says 3 days earlier. That was the exciting intro. All right, now the beginning seems a little bit normal. We check in with each of the households, and in their little ways, they're catching us all up by, having conversations like, "This is the first time I'm getting dressed up, and I can't wait to get out of the house." And things to let us know that, yes, they too have been through the same pandemic that the rest of the world is going through. The gist of this is we find out that Jackie is having a party for Evan's birthday. And all the ladies are going to be there, and I guess it's like the first time they're seeing each other since last year. Jackie mentions in her confessional that her home life is pretty spectacular. So take note, because that's obviously foreshadowing. We check in with Melissa and Joe. Melissa says she's looking forward to seeing everyone. I heard Margaret's got new boobs, and Dolores is on her second ass implant. Side note, second? Was she doing like one cheek at a time? I don't know why someone needs two. Unless something went very wrong, I'm not sure why you would need two ass implants. I'm just a housewife from the Midwest. What do I know? Joe Gorga's like, what is with you ladies? What if I had a fake penis? And Melissa goes, ew. I mean, well, how would that work? We check in with Dolores and Frank, still in her house, and she shows him her scars from her surgery. You guys, they look intense. That was not some simple, easy surgery. There are like huge incisions. In fact, Frank Sr.'s like, oh, Dolores, you look like you got filleted. That's what I do with flounder. And Dolores goes, well, you know, my ass was floundering. Checking in with Teresa, she's on FaceTime with Gia. Teresa tells her she just came back from the cemetery. She reiterates for those of us who didn't hear that Nono passed away. He got pneumonia, and then he had like a mini stroke. It just kind of went downhill from there. So it's probably almost a year ago now. I think it may have been in March or April. If you follow her on social media, you heard the news. But yeah, so sad. Okay, so the party is at a restaurant under a tent outside. Some of Jackie's non-housewife friends are arriving first. People are kind of elbow bumping to say hello. I mean, here's the thing. We need to stop acting like we need to touch each other to say hello. You know, like I feel like that's going to be something that goes by the wayside when we're past this pandemic. God willing, we get over this pandemic finally. I feel like there's going to be a lot of changes to how we do things in this country. For example, I think that probably when we're in airports and like very public places like that, I think probably a lot of people will still be wearing masks and like shaking hands. I just like, we don't have to touch. I mean, if you're seeing a friend you haven't seen in a long time and you want to hug them, that's different. I'm talking about when you're meeting someone professionally or, you know, that kind of thing. Do we need like skin to skin contact? Probably not. Anyway, when Margaret gets there, she and Jackie hug, and then Margaret mentions, well, I guess because we've all been tested, we can hug. So that's her not so subtle way of letting us all know that the whole cast has been tested. So hold your cards and letters. Side note, Lexi, Margaret's creative director, she and her husband are also there. So just from this episode alone, I get the feeling that Lexi may be groomed to be a housewife, at least a friend of. I mean, look, we're only one episode in, but like she definitely has a bigger presence throughout this episode than she did last year. I think it's the first time we're seeing her husband at all. So just because earlier Jackie had made the comment that she was keeping this party very small. And so I don't know, Lexi and her husband making the cut makes me feel like, you know, that was a bravo decision. Okay, so Jackie did invite all the housewives, including Jennifer. She said even though she and Jennifer have been having troubles, she wanted to kind of have a clean slate. Melissa said that she hadn't spoken to Jennifer since they were on the couches at last year's reunion, but that she's not going to ruin Evan's party by getting into it with her. So she was just going to be cordial. I mean, they didn't hug, I don't think, but they may have said hello. Okay, at this point, everyone's friendly, nice. Everyone's there except Teresa hasn't arrived yet. And they're talking about her a little bit, wondering if she's going to bring a date. They all said they hope so. And Margaret announces that she thinks they should all go on a girls' trip. She has a house on Lake George. And Melissa goes, a lake? What about like Vegas? And Margaret's like, because we can't get on an airplane right now. And she's like, oh, yeah. Melissa's like, that's fine. Melissa's going to make it work because 4 days away from her kids and her husband sounds really good to her right now, no matter where it is. Okay, now Teresa arrives, not with a date, but with her realtor friend, Michelle. I don't know what that's all. I'm so suspicious of new housewives, you guys. I have PTSD because I have a hard time getting used to new housewives. Actually, one of the reasons I was so looking forward to New Jersey is because it was the exact same cast. And I was like, okay, I know these women. I can work with these women. This is good. But I'm also very suspicious of other women getting screen time because, they've done that to us before. Barbara Kay, I'm looking at you. Don't call them a housewife, yet they're in every scene. And not that it doesn't sometimes work well. Look at my sweet, sweet Sutton. But I'm cautious. And this Michelle, she has done nothing yet. I have no reason to think this, just so I'm clear. I'm getting a vibe like she's there to be Teresa's partner in crime, possibly do Teresa's dirty work. Teresa doesn't have Danielle this year. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Who knows? Okay, so then Jackie tells Teresa that Evan has this great guy for her. They want her to meet him. She's like, oh, okay. And then Jackie gives a speech, a very drunken speech, by the way, thanking everyone for coming and saying happy birthday to Evan and what a great husband he is and a great father. And then she's kissing him. They start making out. It's a little sloppy, a little too on display for me. I don't know. It's fine. But while that's going on, Teresa says to Melissa, did you hear that? Time out. I forgot to say that before she went to make the speech, she was saying how drunk she is. And Melissa said, are you going to give Evan a blowjob? Because you guys remember last year, she doesn't do that. Jewish girls don't do that. I think she said no, or I don't know. But anyway, what happened was in her drunken stupor, while she's on the microphone giving the speech to everybody, she said something like, you're going to get a blowjob tonight. And she goes, just kidding. Joe Gorga's like, wait. Oh, no, you can't do that. You can't take it back. So everyone's a little raucous and, crazy. So I think that conversation prompted Teresa to say to Melissa, did you hear anything about Evan, doing stuff? And Melissa's like, what? No, what are you talking about? Doing stuff at the gym? She's like, no. Oh, maybe Margaret heard something. She lives near them. So now she goes over to Margaret. Margaret, did you hear anything about Evan, doing stuff? And Margaret goes, no, what do you mean? Doing what stuff? What are you talking about? And she said, at the gym? I heard he does stuff at the gym. Margaret's like, what kind of stuff? So finally, she is trying so hard not to say it, but nobody knows what she's talking about. So she has to come out with it. And she goes, when he goes to the gym, he's screwing around. Now, Margaret is shocked. And she looks at her and she said, who told you that? Teresa doesn't know. Teresa goes, I don't know. I can't remember. You know me. I forget things. Okay. I forget things too, but I wouldn't forget who told me that. Now Jennifer is there and she overhears them. And she also said, I never heard anything. In Jennifer's confessional, she told me that rumor a while back and it went in one ear and out the other because she didn't even remember the person that told her. At the end of the day, if you don't have the receipts, honey, shut the f*** up. So anyway, Margaret tells Teresa, this is not the time or place to be spreading that around. She's like, it's his birthday. birthday. And Teresa's like, all right, I'm just saying, I heard it before. Maybe Dolores knows. Dolores, get over here. So she goes over to asks her if she heard. Did you hear that, like, Gavin was doing stuff? Like, at the gym? Like, doing stuff at the gym? It's the same. She has got her lines down, I'll tell you that. And Dolores says no, and that would surprise me very much. So Teresa's not getting what she wants from Melissa, from Margaret, from Jennifer, or Dolores, so now she goes to her brother. Did you hear anything about Evan? Evan doing stuff? And he said no. And he goes, well, I mean, I'm not from around here, but since when do they act like they live so far from each other? Maybe they do. I don't know New Jersey at all. Apparently, Jackie lives in Tenafly. I don't know how far that is from where Teresa and Joe and Melissa live, but Margaret apparently lives near her, or maybe Margaret also lives in Tenafly. I have no idea. I'm just saying that I don't think anybody moved, and I don't ever remember them talking about how far they were from each other. Now it appears as though they live so far away that they wouldn't hear the same gossip, so Joe Gorga says the same thing. Well, I mean, I don't live near them, but I've never heard anything like that. Margaret's at the table, and she said, well, I do live in the area, and I've not heard anything like that. Question, does anybody think that the reason Teresa can't remember who told her is because she made it up? You know, to make up for Jackie last year saying, well, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck. You know, I mean, there's a reason why Teresa has job security with Bravo. All right, it is the next day now. All the husbands are in bed, hungover, headaches, feeling like crap. Side note, New Jersey is the one franchise where I actually think the husbands are an integral part of the show. I mean, they really are drama queens in their own right, so they fit right in. Could you imagine New Jersey without Joe Gorga, or Bill the Vampire, or Frank Catania? Dolores! Of course not. But could you say the same about any other city? No. I could take him or leave him. In fact, I said I prefer the husbands when I don't know anything about them, usually. But not these guys. Anyway, it's Antonia's 15th birthday. Melissa feels bad because she can't make a big to-do about it because of COVID. So she let her have a few friends over for a sleepover, and then they're gonna go to the shore, I guess, with a couple of her friends. Joe, complains about her being too young for a boyfriend, yada, yada. We know that whole story. Over at Margaret's house, Marge Sr. has come over for a visit, and Margaret is telling her all about Teresa's rumor, and her Joe is vomiting. Yuck. Were they not drinking at home during the pandemic? I mean, maybe not, or maybe not to this extent. And this was their first outing, and maybe they just weren't used to it. They have to condition themselves again. Like I said, Margaret's telling Marge Sr. all about it. Meanwhile, Melissa and Joe are talking about it at their house. Jennifer and Bill are even talking about it. Jennifer's like, yeah, I can't believe it. And Bill goes, well, I mean, he is a good-looking guy, and he has a good job. Jen goes, I know, but you can't just throw comments like that out there. Oh, but you can, and Teresa did. Thank you, Joe Gorga. He's basically saying what I am. You know my sister. She holds grudges. And last year, when that rumor was out about her and that guy, and Jackie was like, it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck. Exactly. She is still angry about that. And Melissa's like, true, but I mean, it was already out there, and pictures were out there of Teresa and that guy holding hands. So it isn't like Jackie came up with something out of the blue. Back at Margaret's house, Marge Sr. said, I mean, could you imagine? What if one of Jackie's friends overheard her? That would be terrible. Next, we are at David's house, Dolores' boyfriend, and Dolores, as promised, has not moved in with him because he didn't put a ring on it, but Frankie Jr. did. Yeah. So Dolores and Frank Sr. are living in Dolores' house, and Frank Jr. has moved in with David into his new house. I guess because of COVID, when school started to be remote, I don't know, according to Dolores, it's a lot quieter at David's house. And Frankie is studying for an exam to get into graduate school for business. So he needs, to concentrate. And so he's been at David's. David's getting a little crappy with Dolores. I don't love how he's speaking to her. She's kind of teasing him about their relationship. And she does say, you should have gone with me to Evan's birthday party last night. Everybody's asking about you, and you at least need to show up sometimes. Show up for an hour. And he didn't like that. And he goes, when's your next surgery? And she's like, what? And he goes, you didn't even tell me about it. She said that that morning she was going in, she told him, because she knows he doesn't like it. Now, I don't disagree with David's point of view as it pertains to elective surgery. He does not like it. And, he's a doctor. So he fully and completely understands the complications that can occur with any surgery. And so to undergo that when you don't have to, I get it. I get his point of view. But Dolores is not wrong when she says that the beauty of that relationship, the way it stands, is that she has the freedom to do whatever she wants. She doesn't have to ask permission. Next, we are with Jennifer and her family at Jennifer's house. She's in the kitchen making dinner. She's expecting her brother and sister to come over and her dad. Quick question. What is with Bill being around all the time now? Remember back when he wasn't just emotionally unavailable, he was actually unavailable? That's the Bill I love. The one that comes home late, misses dinner, and then goes directly to his coffin to do some more work. I miss that Bill. This Bill comes skipping into the kitchen. I smell something good. What's for dinner? What, did you lose your job? Why are you around all the time? Okay, so apparently Jennifer's dad lives with them now because he and his wife, Jennifer's mother, bicker all the time, which doesn't sound like a reason to move out of her house. I tend to think there's something more going on there. Plus, I'm sick of all the stories about arranged marriages working out so great and, we've been together for 40 years. We've grown to love each other and all that. I imagine that those are far less likely than the ones that don't work out when you marry a virtual stranger. Either that or they last a long time, but one or both of the spouses are unfulfilled in their lives. I think that's far more likely with an arranged marriage. It just makes sense. It's hard enough to find someone you want to spend your life with when you're head over heels. Anyway, little Olivia is 7 years old now, and she's still rocking the full glam. Girl's got a pink lip. She's got the nail polish. And she's telling Jennifer and Bill that she wants to sit at the grown-up table between the two people that made me in this world. Okay, so like I said, her dad lives with her and her brother and sister come over. They're talking about the mom. I guess has difficult relationships with everybody. She fights with all of them. Jennifer said that she was tired of her dad being her mom's punching bag, so she made the executive decision to have him come live with her. I don't know. I feel bad for her mom. You know what's weird? We saw a lot more of her mom in the past than her dad, and now her mom didn't even want to come to this dinner. So I feel so bad for her. Yet she sent a dish with both her other daughter and her son. Mom made chicken cutlets and mom made, whatever the other dish was. And she brought Coffee Mate for dad because that's the kind he likes. So I didn't like everybody talking about her like that without her being there. All right, now we are at Teresa's house and her phone rings and it's Jackie. Apparently, her friend called her the morning after Evan's birthday party and told her that she heard Teresa asking everybody about Evan, doing things like doing stuff at the gym. So Jackie is now asking Teresa if she will meet with her and talk at Margaret's house. And Teresa goes, yeah, but why at Margaret's house? And she said, because it feels like more neutral territory rather than my house or your house. And Teresa's like, okay. So Jackie gets to Margaret's house first. Lexi is there. Lexi knows the whole story. She's sitting in there. Jackie's, why would she do it? And Margaret's like, I know. And so Jackie said, so we have to ask ourselves, how long are we going to let this person keep doing the things she does and get away with it? Then Bravo provides us with a little montage of Teresa's greatest hits. And Jackie reminds Margaret, as though she needs reminding, that it was Teresa that egged on Danielle to assault her by yanking her hair. And Margaret's like, I know. So now Teresa gets there. And it's basically what we saw at the very beginning of this episode. Only now all the gaps are being filled in. Jackie starts by asking Teresa, can I talk to you without you interrupting for a few minutes? And Teresa, yeah, of course. She said, I don't know if you made it up or if someone did tell you, but I need you to say it's not true. And Teresa's like, I didn't want to upset you, but this is a rumor that I heard. And Jackie goes, from who? Well, isn't that the $1 million question? Teresa says, I can't say the person's name. Oh, because it's Teresa? Or because you can't remember? Like, which is it? And Jackie goes, Teresa, does this person know me and Evan? And Teresa goes, I don't know. I mean, obviously they do because they said it, not me. Then Teresa goes on to say that she didn't ask for any details or anything because she didn't care. She's like, I mean, it wasn't my husband, so I didn't care. Oh, girl, you cared at Evan's birthday party. You definitely seemed like you cared a lot. Then Teresa says, I was going to say one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, but this is Teresa. This may just be on brand. She said, let me tell you why I did it. Because now that I'm single, I've been approached by a lot of married men. What? Okay. Let me understand her logic. Newly single Teresa gets hit on by, let's say, more than 2 scumbag married men. So that made her heard a rumor that he cheats on Jackie when he goes to the gym? No. If she was feeling some kind of way about men, and if she heard this rumor about Evan, she should have told Jackie privately. Instead, she waited until filming started and posed the question to first Melissa, then Margaret, Jennifer, Dolores, and her brother at Evan's birthday party. Wow. Jackie's frustrated and she's like, Teresa, I need you to admit this is a lie. Earlier to Margaret, she was saying, this is damaging to Evan's career, to his life. To Teresa, she's saying, you need to clear my husband's name. It was a baseless rumor. Then she says, I'm not stupid. I'm a lawyer. And I'm thinking, oh, bad move, Jackie. Teresa does not like to be made to feel small or stupid. So that lawyer thing, you didn't need to say that, and you shouldn't have. In Teresa's confessional, she's like, we get it, Jackie. Every 2 seconds you tell us, I'm a lawyer. So Teresa says to her, if you and Evan know it isn't true, why do you care? Stick up for yourself. You know the phrase where there's smoke, there's fire. Jackie is so frustrated, and she's like, you need to admit that you spread this rumor. Teresa goes, I did not spread it. I heard a rumor. I did not spread it. Yeah, you did. You spread it all over Evan's birthday party. Like all over. So Jackie goes, oh, okay. So you know what? I heard that Gia snorts coke in the bathroom at parties. How many of you guys audibly gasped when she said Gia's name? I was like, oh, you do not talk about the daughters. What is wrong with you? Also, truthfully, that was not okay. That was not okay, Jackie. I mean, listen, that is exactly two wrongs not making a right. Okay. I'm frustrated because I have two feelings about this. One is I understand that this is a reality show and they're supposed to be behaving as though they're not on camera. If that's the case, then I totally understand Jackie saying something outrageous that isn't true to get through to Teresa's thick head. Do you see how that feels? You're spreading around something that could hurt Evan's reputation. That's not right. So, that would be as if I said something about Gia that would hurt her reputation. But here's where it's totally wrong that Jackie did that. You might be told to act like the cameras aren't there, but the cameras are there. The cameras are there, and you didn't just say that to Teresa. You said it to me. She said it to all of you guys. I'm repeating it to you guys. I mean, it's not right. It isn't right to do that. I saw a tweet from Gia who said that it's ruined her life and all this kind of stuff, ruined her reputation at the school and all that kind of thing. I don't know if I'm being honest with you. I was annoyed by that tweet because she lets her mother's behavior slide by, but we're supposed to hold Jackie accountable. I mean, yeah, go ahead and hold Jackie accountable. She deserves it. She made a horrible mistake by saying that on camera. I don't think it was right at all. But also, your mom did too. If you're angry that Jackie did it, then you have to also be angry at your mom. And she's not. So I find myself a little annoyed by that tweet. But yeah, ladies, come on. That's that dirty fighting that I'm talking about. You guys know you're on camera. This isn't your first season, either of you. Even if you are trying to prove a point about spreading baseless rumors. So Teresa goes, you bitch. She's just F you. You're the C word. And Margaret's, what happened? And Teresa's just bleep, bleep, bleep. And Jackie yells, I'm living the life you want. I win. Okay. This is the Jackie that is insufferable. I was with you, girl, at the beginning, but the comment about Gia and now I win, grow up. Anyway, Teresa takes off, and that is where episode 1 ends, you guys. Can you say action-packed? Yeah. We get a ton of previews for the upcoming season, and there is a lot. But I have to say, I am most intrigued by Melissa saying, it was all a dream until it wasn't. Oh, what is that all about? Can't wait. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me. If you liked this recap, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content just like this, please subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment down below. I love to hear from you guys. Please wash your hands often, wear a mask, stay safe. Texas, I'm with you guys. I love you. See you next time.